Welcome, Dreamweavers. Natalie here, and we're going to get right into this reading for you this morning. So buckle down, get a drink, and let's get into this, okay? So this morning I have a channeled message for you, and this is about how you look at abundance. And I know many of you have been you've been waiting for your ships to sail in. You've been waiting for your pentacles to come in, right? For that 10 of Pentacles, that Ace of Pentacles, the 10 of Cups, all the things that you've been promised, everything that's yours, your birthright. And for many of you, it is coming in. But as it comes in, if you want to hold on to it, Spirit says you need to have an abundance mindset. And so what is an abundance mindset, right? And I don't know, Spirit said I needed to come talk to you about this. And so this is what we're going to talk about this morning. We're going to talk about how you hold on to your abundance. What is really an abundance mindset? Is it about going out and buying that I don't know, is it about the things that you're buying? Whatever it is. And there's nothing wrong with buying things, but the problem is that when you think that those things are what makes you abundance, do you know that I'm going to give you two things, right? We're going to talk about two things that truly help to build your abundance. The first thing is how you're investing your money. Well, so it's three things. How you're investing your money. We're going to talk about net time. And then we're going to talk about buying back your time. Because do you know that time is the only thing, it's like one of the only things that as it's gone that you can't get back. Most people reach the end of their life and all they want is to buy time. And if you're getting material goods, money, things that are coming in, unexpected income, right? How do you buy back the thing that's the most precious to you? And no extra time. I went to a Tony Robbins seminar probably 5 years ago during the whole pandemic thing, right? And I attended a seminar and it was at home. I found it was online. He normally didn't do this, but because it was a pandemic, he started offering these seminars online, which was like a tenth of the cost it would cost to go and sit in, go fly out to a room, go to a actual seminar in a building somewhere. That is all. When you look for discounts, that's all part of you making a good investment, right? Making an investment in something that you want, but something that you want that, let me turn this around. Something that you want, but finding it at a better deal. And at that time, it was a better deal. I had been listening to Tony Robbins for like years and thinking about, it was like thousands of dollars to go to one of his seminar. And all of a sudden it was like $300, right? Which may still be a lot for you. But you know what the beauty of it is? And he even recommended, because he preaches this, because it was from home. Let's say it's $300. You have to change. This is why I'm talking to you about mindset today as your abundance is coming in, Pisces, because you need to have that. We need to do that flip. And I'm going to give you a few tips. I'm giving you these few tips to help you start to flip that switch. So he said it was $300. So he's like, well, $300, if you invite 10 people, right? 10 people to your house. Let's do 10 friends that you've been hanging out with. Let's do a Tony Robbins seminar, $30 a piece. And that $300 investment just turned into like $30 per person. And you get to do it in a group and everyone gets to watch it in the room with you. This is how you invest in yourself. I mean, because if you were actually going to the seminar, you probably wouldn't be able to split the $3,000 cost for that seminar with 10 people or 30 people to get it down to that $30 cost, right? But because it was at home, he was like, hey, take advantage. And he even said, like, you know what? Take advantage, invite how many people, like, start, because his whole seminar was about mindset shift anyway. And so the next thing was, I hope this is making sense to you, because as your abundance is coming in, it's not about going out and buying that Coach bag. And I know the Coach bag might be nice. And if there's something you really want, by all means do it. But make it make sense, right? Make it be an investment. Find a way to make it an investment. Some people say, instead of buying that Coach bag, if you really like Coach, why not, and you believe in Coach, why not invest in Coach? Why not buy Coach stock instead? Because then you own something. Then you really own a part of Coach. When you buy the Coach bag, somebody else is making money off of the purchase you just made. You just made the stocks, you just increased the stock price for Coach, and somebody else who actually invested in that stock is now making money. The next thing is buying your time back. And I started talking about this at the beginning. And I think this is the most valuable thing we can do. Do you know, if I could go back and change the way I did things when my kids were little, I would. So for all of you who have young children out there, I want you to think about this. I want you to think about a couple of things. How much time do you spend arguing with your kids about cleaning up their room? Arguing with your husband or your wife about, who's going to clean up the house, who's going to do the dishes, who's going to, all the chores that need to be done around the house after everyone's worked a long week. How much time do you spend doing that? How frustrated are you? How exhausted are you? I used to, this is hilarious. My son just said to me, and my kids are 30 now, they're in their 30s. And my youngest one just said to me, Mom, he goes, I remember when we were little and you used to get on your hands and knees and scrub the floor, the kitchen floor. And at the time, that's not all I was doing. I was doing laundry, maybe cooking. I was doing the whole thing. So I would spend my weekend or the day that I had, right, maybe 12 hours trying to clean up the house and then falling over at the end of the day, just exhausted. And I never considered, I thought I was saving money. That's what I thought I was doing. I was like, well, I can't pay someone to come do that. Like, I can just do it myself. I know how to clean. I can clean. But listen, after you clean, you're exhausted. You go to bed tired at the end of the night, and then you got to get up and go to work in the morning, and you're repeating this cycle over and over again. What if you just hired someone? You just paid somebody to buy yourself back time. You paid somebody. How much would it be worth for you to pay someone to come clean your house and buy back your time? Because let me tell you something. I used to spend like 12 hours on a Saturday, like just completely scrubbing down my house, right? And let's say you make, think about this. Let's say you make $20 an hour. Let's just say, right? $20 an hour times 12. How much is that? How much is that? That's $240 for the 12 hours that you just spent cleaning your house. Now consider this, because this is what I eventually found out. Because when I attended the seminar, I said, okay, I'm going to try it. I'm going to hire someone, right? And so they said, okay, 3 hours, $60, let's say, for one person to come. If you want two people to come, right? So two people come, that's $120, right? Let's say, for two people. for 3 hours. Yeah. And your house will be cleaned and spotless. And what ended up happening is these two people came in, they focused, and they cleaned my whole house in 3 hours. They were in and out, gone. My house was spotless, and I bought my time. I bought 12 hours of time back for myself at let's say I paid them $10 an hour, because you're typically not going to pay them the same amount that you make, right? Like, and so let's say it was $10 an hour, right, to get somebody to clean. And this is just for an example right now. But let's say $10 an hour. So now it was $60 for $60 for a fraction of the price that it costs me, because my time. I remember when I go to work, I get paid $20 an hour. I'm paying someone now $10 an hour to come clean my house. For 3 hours, two people cost me $60, right? Which is a fraction of the price, 25%. It's a quarter of the price that it costs me to do it myself. And I just bought back my whole day, and somebody cleaned my house for me. That's how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. Same thing for yard work. Your husband's coming home. Yes, I know. Like sometimes it's like, oh yeah, like you know what? I like this is relaxing. Really, on a Saturday, is it relaxing in the hot ass sun, like mowing the lawn? Pay your neighbor's kid. The other thing I started to tell you is that I would something that I would do differently is we have this mentality, and I think it's a poverty mindset. All these mindset shifts, I'm telling you, are taking you from poverty mindset to abundance mindset. Okay, this is all an abundance mindset. So imagine you have kids, right? And you're fighting with them every weekend. You're fighting with them about cleaning up their room, right? Oh, my screen went out. Give me 1 minute, guys. You're fighting with your kids to clean up their room. And, all they want to do is play video games, but they need money to go to the movies. They have some video game that they want to buy. And you're forking money over for that, but you can't get them to clean up their room. What if I could do it all over again? Instead of fighting with my kids, I would have been paying them to clean their room. Why not? You're teaching them the value of earning $1, right? Instead of just giving them the money. And you have peace of mind where you're not arguing with your kids, right? And maybe you give them like $5 an hour. And you're like, hey, $5 an hour. You know how quick they probably take their time because they're kids, but you'll be like, I'll pay you in 4 hours. I want this room clean. $20 to clean up, to clean up your room, right? Depending on their age. If they're older, you give them a raise for doing that. But you take away the stress of arguing with your kids, and the room is clean as you want it to be clean, right? And you're not doing it yourself, killing yourself, I can't say that word. I'm going to have to bleep that out, but you're not exhausting yourself doing it. And part of it is that you throw in that they got to pick up. They can't just throw their shoes at the door when they come in. They have to put things up. That's part of the pay. I don't know. However you choose to do it. But what I'm saying is that you're taking an abundance mindset, which is going from you need to do everything yourself to including everyone in that, and teaching them the value of money as you go along. Buying back your time, investing your money in a better way. And if you like Coach, you're going to invest in Coach. You're not just going to buy a Coach purse that you're going to put on your closet. And there's nothing wrong with buying a Coach purse or a Gucci or whatever. But if you're buying that, are you invested in the company? Are you when you buy that purse, do you own stock in the company that you just invested in by buying that purse? Are you increasing your returns by buying that purse. So that is your channel message for today. And I'm going to go ahead and pull a few cards for you. And I have this deck here. I don't remember the name of it. I don't have the box. Do I have the box here? I don't have the box here. I don't know what I did with the box, but hold on, guys. I don't know what I did with the box, but holy cow, look at this. Okay, so we have, wow. Okay, so it doesn't matter. So at the back of this card right here says free, and may your soul sing freely. Exactly. How free would you feel? How free would you feel if you didn't have to fight with everybody? If you didn't feel so exhausted? If you could just get up and you just knew that your kids were going to clean up the room? Your space was good, and you were going to hand them 25, $30 and have your peace of mind. Sometimes we think that we don't have that freedom. Freedom is free. Freedom is not free. But also freedom is using the resources that you have to get what you need. And sometimes what you need is peace. And then the next thing is play. May you seek out fun and connection. It's so funny because the cards flip. So there's free on this side, and on this side is play. When you are not exhausted, when you have an abundance mindset, guess what? You have time to do this. You have time to play. You have time for connections because you are no longer exhausted. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that what it's about? Right? But if you take that money and you're hoarding it, right? Would you have a poverty mindset and you're just buying all these things at the store, right? All these things that you want, you're buying them, and then you're arguing with everybody in your household about cleaning and being tired. And the idea is not to be tired. And the idea is not to be wasteful with the money either. But in the examples that I showed you at the beginning, you can see how, even though somehow somebody told us that it was wasteful to buy, our time back, to pay somebody to clean the house for us, or pay someone to do things like clean up the yard for you. But when you're abundant, you buy peace. You buy peace. You buy more security. Investments. All right, let's pull what do I want to pull? Listen. This is just I don't know why I was called, this is the message I was called but to give you today, but it's the message. Let's pull what's the vibe. And I did not pre-shuffle, so you guys can hopefully fast forward if you're bored, but we're going to pull what's the vibe here. We're shuffle. Where's the deck? Here it is. Let's pull the vibe for you. Because I feel like, many of you all have things that are coming in, and Spirit wants you to be ready. Part of being ready is knowing how you're going to hold on to that, how you're going to how you're gonna manage your abundance so that it continues to multiply, right? So we don't go back. We don't go backwards. And sometimes we think that it's about the other people in our lives that are coming in to take things from us. But sometimes it's our own mindset that's stealing our joy, that's stealing our peace. Bear with me. Yeah, Pisces, these are lessons that, these are lessons that we have to learn. That paranoid, cautious, insecure, and guarded. So, yeah, like you could be, Spirit doesn't want you to be paranoid. Spirit wants you to be, see, when you have a poverty mindset, that's low vibrational, and sometimes you're guarded about the other people coming in and taking things. Spirit doesn't want you to be guarded. Spirit doesn't want you to be insecure. This having switching to an abundance mindset, and you can look up some videos on Tony Robbins, Neville Goddard. Look up these people online, see what they have to say about abundance mindset. I've listened to these tapes over and over, these recordings over and over and over again, to understand. I talked about net time, no extra time, which means that sometimes if you're doing the dishes, you might be listening to a podcast. You're driving in the car, you're listening to a podcast where you're learning something. That's net time. Like you're using your time you're using your time in a useful way, that where even as you have that downtime driving from, your job back home, if you have an hour commute in the car, you have time to listen to a podcast and learn some things. Use that time wisely. And then you don't have to feel guarded, because you'll have the tools to do what you'll have the tools to hold on to the wealth that's coming. No paranoia, actually. Spirit says, and there could be, you could be feeling like, oh my gosh, like what's going to happen? I'm going to have all this money, or you know what? Like if this money comes in, maybe you have some things that you've invested in and you're waiting for it to come in, and you're worried about how people are, people are going to come flocking in. Another part of abundance mindset is you don't tell everybody your business. When that abundance finally comes in, when that money finally comes in from you, you don't call everybody and tell them. There's no need. There's no need for you to tell everyone what's going on, right? And if you have someone you want to help, what if you offered them, if someone really needs money, maybe you can offer them, you can exchange the money for some service that they can provide you. Let's see, what's the vibe? Exhausted, exactly, right? Many of you have been exhausted, burned out, burdened, empty. This is what Spirit doesn't want for you anymore. This is what having an abundance mindset gets rid of. Didn't I say that at the beginning, that if you're exhausted, many of you have been exhausted, and you're going to be able to buy back your time. And when you do the calculations, it like we did earlier, it's well worth it. It's well worth it. Don't have this abundance and then keep a poverty mindset that keeps you exhausted and burned out. And the beautiful thing about this also, that having an abundance mindset, is that, like I mentioned, like you're helping your children learn. If you're hiring your children to clean their own room, so what? You're teaching them something. You're teaching them something about earning money. And even the people that you're hiring to come clean your house, you're keeping the economy going. That's how you use your money to keep the economy going, not just by giving it away. Buying, because when you buy things, as soon as you buy something off the shelf, you buy, most things that you buy, clothes, all these expensive clothes, and the value decreases. You buy a car, a nice fancy car, the car depreciates as soon as you walk off the lot with the car. I think you lose like 5 to 10% of the value is gone as soon as you walk off the lot. But if you invest in Lexus, you invest in BMW, you buy stock. When people buy those things, guess what? Your stock goes up. The value of your investment goes up. Then you're not burnt out. Your pockets aren't, you're not empty. You're not running on empty. You're filling your cup up without having to do the work. See, we learn so much to exchange. They teach us how to exchange our time for money, right? But if you have an hourly pay, right? How many hours can you work in a day? But if you make an investment, right? If you make an investment, you buy stocks or something like that. You're no longer, your time is no longer being traded for money. When you are having someone to hire someone to come help you clean your to clean your house, for instance, you are buying back your time. And it costs you less to buy back your time than it actually costs you to do the work yourself. Isn't that crazy? One more, what's the vibe? And then we're going to pull just a few tarot. We're going to pull from the tarot. One more, what's the vibe? Yeah. Yes, people. Stop suffering in silence. Stop just spirit doesn't want you to have to suffer anymore. And a lot of times we suffer in silence. We do all these things because we're taught like that's what makes us this, doing all this hard work and spending our whole day like cleaning the house somehow makes us somehow that makes us a good person. For lack of a better word, I don't even know what to say about that. I don't even. Meanwhile, at the end of the day, like you're hopeless, you're tired, you're exhausted, and well, I don't know. We're gonna go to the tarot. I'm gonna go to the tarot because nothing is coming out here, and I'm gonna move this to take you to the tarot with me. I'm gonna take you to the tarot with me. Ciao. I'm gonna take you. It's really crazy to think that you would get all this money and then piss it away. You would have this abundance come in and not know how to hold on to it. Spirit is like, no. Spirit is like, no, that's not what Spirit wants for you. Spirit wants you to be able to hold on to this abundance that you're getting. I'm sorry, I had to move that because the table is here. And what message do you have? Judgment. This is Spirit has called judgment on your situation. Spirit does not want you to suffer anymore. Do you understand that Spirit doesn't want you to suffer anymore, Pisces? Spirit doesn't want you to suffer anymore. Spirit doesn't want you to suffer anymore. Seven of Cups in reverse, Four of Cups in reverse, and then the Queen of Swords. Talk about judgment. Oh, Seven of Cups is not in reverse. You're coming out of boredom. You're coming out of feeling you're coming out of feeling lost. See, you're going to have all these shiny things are going to be offered to you, right? But you're going to have to know, you need to know what is for you. You need to know what, not all that glitters is gold, and not all that glitters brings you more gold. That the investment that you're making in the whatever it is that you're getting, and that spirit is dropping in your lap at this moment, is for you to multiply. And in order to multiply, there can't be confusion. You can't be confused about that. You need there are some lessons, there's some things for you to learn. And the Queen of Swords is here. So this is you using your mind. Spirit wants you to be in this energy of clarity, of using your mind to make the right decisions of how you use your abundance, how you multiply this abundance that's coming to you, because that's the idea. There is judgment here. There's generational wealth. There is generational wealth here. And generational wealth comes from having an abundance mindset. Yes, you have the you may get that inheritance, right? But if you piss away the inheritance by picking the wrong cup, you are not you don't create generational wealth by doing that. If you if you can't see, and I think you will see here, because with in the right side up, Four of Cups, she's not paying attention. Like somebody's handing her a cup and she's not even seeing it. So I feel like this was in reverse. So you're going to be seeing everything. You're going to be seeing exactly what you need to do, but that doesn't mean that there won't be snakes out there in the garden. It doesn't mean that some of these cups won't be filled. So that's why your spirit wants you to stay in this energy as you are making decisions on how to multiply and what to do with this abundance that you have coming in, with this wealth. How you're going to pass it on. And passing on the wealth is not just about the money. It's about the mindset also. The spirit wants you, that's what I'm hearing. A spirit wants you to pass on the mindset, the things that you learn. The abundance mindset has, for generational worth and wealth to occur, you need to be passing on the mindset so that the next generation after you can also continue to multiply the wealth so they don't piss it away. You're like, it's like you're being called That's what I just, with judgment here. You're like, you're being given this information, right? And if you've never heard some of this stuff before, you've heard it here today. And please go and find some other videos on, look up Tony Robbins, look up Neville Goddard, like I said. And, there are plenty of others. Once you start doing those searches and watching these people, there'll be more that comes up. More, YouTube will recommend more to you. And maybe that's why I was called to share this at the beginning, because, even hiring your kids to clean their room, right? Instead of going out when you have this abundance that comes in, instead of going out and buying them everything they need, are you going to teach them how to work for it? Because you worked for it. You did the work, Pisces. You did the work to bringing in this wealth, but to keep the wealth, to keep the abundance mindset, you have to share it. You have to show them how it's done. So your Queen of Swords energy, yes, it's used. You use this energy to move things out of the way, right? To know for yourself, to move things out of the way, but you also use this energy, you use your words to share that wealth. It's the words and the things that it's the clarity and the knowledge that you share with others that is the wealth that you're passing down. It's not just the money. Like I said, you can pass the money down if you just pass the money down without passing down the mindset, they will piss it away. It's no longer generational wealth. They need to understand what you understand. And they need to understand that for the next generation, they need to keep sharing that wealth. How do you think rich people stay rich? How do you think they hold on to their wealth for generations and generations? They don't just buy their kids dolls. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with buying your kids gifts and things like that, but they don't just buy their kids a whole bunch of stuff. They actually teach their kids how to get it for themselves. And that's not for being mean. How many of us, how many people out there have kids that have no idea how to master this game of generational wealth that some of you are just learning now? And wouldn't it be terrible to have all this knowledge, to be getting all this knowledge and then not share it? What else, Spirit? What else? Any other messages? Five of Wands. Yeah, look at this. Conflict and competition. And normally conflict and competition is seen as bad, right? But right here, right now, the conflict and competition is, I feel, there's an internal conflict, right? Between how you've done things and how you're going to need to do things. You're going to need to do things different to keep this wealth that's coming in for you. And there might be a conflict in your mind about how you thought about things in this new way of thinking. There might be a little bit of conflict that occurs as you're teaching your kids new tricks. so to speak. But I feel like this is because you're moving into this new era, and we usually look at this conflict card as bad, but right now the conflict is good. This is good. This is teaching an old dog new tricks and learning new things that challenge your perspective. Nine of Wands is in reverse. Yeah, all the seeds you planted, I feel like all the seeds you planted are growing. All these seeds that you planted, all the burdens that you've been carrying, they're actually, you're reaping the benefits of doing that. But now you've done the physical labor. Now the burden is going to be more, the conflict and the burden is going to be more of um the consistent mindset shift that gets you to further and further along. So spirit wants you to keep studying. Spirit wants you to keep learning. I just saw something this morning that said that something about going to college is one thing, but then just because you go to college and earn a degree doesn't mean that education stops. You continue to educate yourself so you can continue to educate your kids. And don't forget, look at this, the fool. Exactly, because you're right now, you're on a whole, this is a whole new ball game for you, Pisces. You are on a whole new journey, and it's like before the old journey, right? Look at him at the top of the mountaintop. It's like the old journey. He was in the city doing all the hard work, and now the journey is up in the air. It's a whole different thing, and the sun is behind him. So the even though I think he's holding a roses. He's smelling the roses. The sun is shining, right? What did I say? There's a dog in here teaching an old dog new tricks. That's it. Now you're learning new tricks that are going to make holding on to your abundance easier. Going to make the abundance that you have help make it easier for your kids and your kids' kids and your the next generation after them to hold on to this abundance. It's like these things that you're learning. It's like, you can take money away from somebody, right? You can drain someone's bank account and they can go from 1 million to $0 in their bank account, right? You know what you can't take away? You can't the knowledge, because someone if you see a millionaire out there, someone that's made a million, somebody that knows how to make $1 million, even if they lose it all, they know how to do it again. That's the type of abundance you're passing on. Because, like I just said, if you just pass on $1 million to somebody that doesn't know how to make $1 million, if they lose it, how will they ever make it again? They're just as poor as they were before they had the $1 million. Wow, angel number, empowerment. I thought I pulled this card out. This came out the other day. Empowerment, angel number 898. Stand in your power to embrace your true potential with confidence. Exactly. because you are on a whole, these, I feel, I just feel like an awesome, embrace these conflicts, the competition. It's going to be a different kind of competition. It's going to be, I feel like the Five of Wands is like healthy competition that will get you further. Like you will have people in your life that are going to push you further on this journey, this new journey that you're on. Like you're going to find yourself embracing like every so often, every year, every, you know, you're going to find yourself on this new journey that makes the future brighter and brighter. You're going to leave so much for your ancestors. You're going to be the one that when people look back, like you're going to be the ancestor that people are going to be calling on one of these days. Um, let's pull a practical. Let's pull an angel card here, and then I'm gonna pull a practical self care and close this out, Pisces. We've been here for a while. Oh, that was. Let's see. Guidance. It's time. In times of uncertainty, I ask God to guide me to the light in my being. I am directed to doors that will open inner freedom to me and step forward in trust. I release my faith to God, and my faith is rewarded. Yeah, this leap of faith that you've taken, it's not that you're going to take. You've already taken the leap of faith, and now you're going to use this inner guidance to teach others also how to take this leap of faith. I hope what I'm saying is making sense, Pisces, because I feel really excited, and it's probably the first time that I pulled a, a reading, and I pull this, like, and I see conflict, but I see it, even that is on this new journey for you is going to be in a brighter light. It's going to be so much different than what you've seen before. It's going to be healthy conflict that's needed, in competition that's needed to keep pushing you forward. Okay, Spirit, give me one for Pisces, please. That one, I guess. We'll pull that one. Financial goals. Set and reach your financial goals to achieve financial stability. I can't make this shit up. That's it. You need to start setting your financial goals. Your abundance is coming in. Today was all about your finances and about maintaining this generational wealth that you're about to create, about showing others how to create it. And as you create financial goals and you have a plan, these are plans and things that you can pass on. They're going to be written. Look at this. Pen and paper. They're going to be written goals and plans that the generations after you can replicate to keep this wealth that you are creating. All right, Pisces, that's your message for today. I hope this message found you well. Let's keep weaving that dream together. Sending you love.